evasion of a micro-wiki ban for monetary gain. We're also charging him with threatening interstate connections, possession of child pornography, obscenity, identity fraud, slander, 2 counts of hate crimes, and criminal threat, along with conspiracy to commit murder, financial fraud, and that's it for the charges under United States law. Under New Hessian law, we are filing a charge of conspiracy to violate undisturbed sovereignty, incitement of civil revolt, and 3 counts of violating Article 4 of the Grand Territories of New Hessian Constitution. Intermicronationally, we are charging Mr. McKeen with violation of Section 3 of the Eggbaston Convention and violation of Section 1C of the Reith Convention. That concludes the charges, Your Honor.
Are you collecting a berry?
We will be entering 42 pieces of evidence and registering 3 witnesses.
Okay, proceed.
Right. So, Your Honor, what can be said of Mr. McKeen? Well, I'm sure as many of the people in this room know, he has a horrible reputation within the micronational world. Why, you ask, might he have a horrible reputation? Because he's done horrible things. He has destroyed, excuse me, Your Honor. He has attempted again and again to destroy the peaceful and democratic systems of many micronations, which had done nothing to hurt him. He has, in the opinion of the prosecution, attempted repeatedly to dismantle the government of New Hessian and their close ally, the Republic of Oksana. Other things he's done, well, first of all, he's a bigot. If the bailiff would like to pull up the piece of evidence, that is in video format.
Okay, I can't carry anymore. There's like 2 over here. Just more.
I will share my screen
Where's that card?
right now.
Just like, oh, there.
Did I? Audio.
Alright. Bailiff, I can't hear your audio.
Okay. That isn't the issue.
If you'd like, you can send it in the chat.
I will, yes. Apologies. My computer is not doing exceedingly well today.
I would be able to play the audio if needed.
That would be excellent.
That would be very helpful.
Thank you.
Alright, let me pull up the video as it is my original video.
Which charge is this evidence correlating to?
This evidence is correlating to the charge of discrimination, Your Honor.
Proceed.
I have it up now. I will play it now.
I have a lingering feeling that if you lived in Europe during the Holocaust and you had Jewish neighbors, you would turn them in. Am I wrong? No.
We can't hear that, Mr. Cunningham.
Yes.
I apologize.
All right.
Video evidence to go along with.
So, bailiff.
I will attempt to do that one more time.
So this charge of video evidence goes against the charge of discrimination and conspiracy to commit murder.
Ah, okay.
Crap. Okay.
As a Zeprana-related question, please go. However, I am only taking Zeprana-related questions.
I have a question.
Yes, go.
I have a lingering feeling that if you lived in Europe during the Holocaust and you had Jewish neighbors, you would turn them in. Am I wrong?
No.
So, Your Honor, as you can see, Mr. McKeen, he is very clearly anti-Semitic. I mean, he just admitted to having the drive to turn in Jewish peoples to the Nazi regime, one that was abhorrently disgusting and which New Hessen condemns. Needless to say, that's a horrible belief, and it shows his drive to discriminate and against Jewish people, which will come up later in this case. Your Honor, with regards to the charges of obscenity, just another piece of McKeen's character. If the bailiff would pull up the piece of evidence containing what looks to be an orange crop top and fishnets.
Could you give me a small amount of time? My pen is not working.
Of course, Your Honor.
Yes, apologies. Pen failed to pen. Even after just being loaded up. Okay. Continue.
I have the evidence pulled up and will screen share.
All right, and be forewarned, this evidence is quite obscene.
This for obscenity? Okay.
This is for the charge of obscenity, yes, Your Honor. So this again shows something about McKeen's character. This was sent in a direct message to someone who he could infer was a minor, regarding that this community is full of minors. The fact that he would send something so abhorrent and disgusting, now I will remind you that in this image there is genitalia that was not included via cropping. If he was willing to send something so abhorrent and disgusting to a minor whom he could infer was a minor, that tells you something about his character and who he is. One last piece of evidence to enter. This is with regards to the charges of revealing of personal identifying information. If the bailiff would pull up the Twitter post containing the addresses of several individuals.
Which charge is this for again?
This is for the charge of revealing of personal identifying information, Your Honor.
Thank you. I see now.
So as you can see, he utilizes scare tactics, IP grabbing, and other tactics to scare his peaceful political opponents. This tells you of his character, and this tells you that he's not willing to play by the rules or play the game fairly. These people's lives could have come under serious danger because of his idle threat to these people and the community he surrounds himself with. And frankly, I think we all know what he means by, quote, how did being anti-USR work for the residents of the following addresses? Thank you, Your Honor. This concludes my opening arguments.
Okay. Defense, please proceed.
The defense is not present, Your Honor. They will be presenting their opening arguments via video or text. Thank you, Your Honor. Oh, excuse me. The defense has asked to join.
Oh, perfect.
I will stop recording.
Recording stopped.
Get in the water.
I will be joined.
All right, and if the bailiff would like to summarize the opening arguments for the defense when they join.
I would have no problem with that.
I must say something. This meeting is about to reach 6:20.
I understand. Your Honor, I urge you to extend the length of the meeting about 5 minutes.
That is fine. Continue.
Bailiff, has he attempted to join the meeting yet?
No.
All right. We may need to leave and rejoin because Zoom will only allow meetings of 40 minutes. However, that shouldn't be happening soon. The bailiff will get a notification if that needs to happen.
You can make a head bomb.
Sure.
Yeah, I've just gotten the notification that this meeting will end in 10 minutes due to the freeze Zoom policy.
Okay.
So,
So would it be optimal for everyone to exit and rejoin to reset the timer?
oh, I've admitted someone.
Oh, has the defense joined?
You see him? Where are they?
Is the defense present and active?
Mr. McKeen.
Another neat in there.
All right. So to summarize the opening arguments for you, Mr. McKeen, I argued against your character, and I also argued against, I argued for obscenity charges against you, along with charges of discrimination and conspiracy to commit murder.
Conspiracy to commit murder.
You two are literally the same.
If the defense would like to present their opening arguments.
That means you, Terry.
All right, Matt. So here's the thing. I do not view myself under any obligation to present any opening arguments due to the fact that I have articulated
Objection, Your Honor.
I have articulated all of my standpoints on this matter via all of Zeprana's social media, and I think it's very clear that
Your
Zeprana
Honor,
has taken a new
objection.
direction where we are
Mr.
focused
Cunningham is
on
being
making
intimidated.
money. We're not focused on whatever this is. And the only reason that we're here today, and let me finish. The only reason that we're here today is because due to the people which have accomplished, unfortunately, I say nothing with their lives, they are defaming me and my business which I am trying to create. And I am going to prove to the world that every accusation, every single one of
Your
you
Honor,
have ever made
objection.
against myself and those I work with are completely
Sustained.
baseless and invalid.
Sustained.
Your Honor, Mr. Cunningham is a witness, and he's being, frankly, intimidated by the defense.
I would like you to ask how he's being intimidated by the defense. I've never once
Well,
threatened
first
him.
of all, you're speaking directly at my witness when he's not even the one prosecuting you.
Correct, I am speaking directly at him since he is one of the main components in this situation. He is certainly
This decorum is completely improper.
I would like to know how it is improper.
Decorum.
I mean,
must
first
say
of all,
it's
you're intimidating my witness, you're influencing the case, you are removing my witness's
Well, I'm the
ability to
defendant
give
in the
testimony in
quote-unquote
good
case. It's quite
conscience.
literally my job to influence this. It is my job to influence the case in my defense, to ensure that it rules in my favor, which I'm confident it will.
Mr. McKeon, intimidating the witness is not an argument.
I'm not intimidating the witness.
You are speaking directly at him when he's not even the one prosecuting you. He's not even on the stand. Currently, he's not a part of this case.
Well, I would say he's part of it on the basis that he is here, but go on. I think I've made my opening statement quite clear. I want you to make your case, because the only cases that we have from the prosecution, as we call it, and I use prosecution, quote unquote, in air quotes, is that I am a evil, racist, bigot, homophobic that does every crime in the book. And I want you to make your case, and then I will respond to that. I have nothing to say other than what was said.
Mr. McKeen, I've already made my case. I have a recording, but for your convenience, I will make it again. Okay. Now then. Mr. McKeen is, I think a lot of us know the character of him. There are a lot of rumors about him, and frankly, those rumors are quite nasty. I'm not one to approve of rumors, but when the rumors are true, I think, or at least seem true, I think it takes some good looking. If the bailiff would like to present the video evidence,
I will get on that shortly.
Anyone else has a Zeprana-related question, please go. However, I will be taking Zeprana-related questions.
I have a question.
Yes, go.
I have a lingering feeling that if you lived in Europe during the Holocaust and you had Jewish neighbors, you would turn them in. Am I wrong?
No.
all right, Your Honor, with the
If I
conclusion of
may
that,
have the floor, I want to make one thing very clear.
Well,
When
I
you
would-
watch the full version of that video,
Mr.
you
McKeen,
clearly see that.
I'm about to give you a chance to make everything very clear.
Okay, wonderful.
Your Honor, if I could call Mr. McKeen to the stand.
Okay, yes. Proceed.
Excellent.
So,
All right,
first of
Mr.
all, I
McKeen,
would
Mr.
like,
McKeen, I would like you to repeat
I would
after
also
me
like
to
to,
swear in as a
one
witness.
moment, I would like to invite someone to this call, if that would please be acceptable. He may serve as a witness.
All right. Does the bailiff approve of this?
I find this
He will be serving
acceptable.
a purpose. I would like to make my case and pertains to that video. First of all, that video was filmed after I had stayed up for over 24 hours.
Mr. McKeen, I'm about to ask you about that video.
Yes, sure,
If I
go
can
ahead.
swear you in as a witness. All right, excellent. Please repeat after me. I swear to this court
I swear to this court
that I will tell the truth,
that I will tell the truth,
the whole truth,
the whole truth,
and nothing but the truth.
and nothing but the truth.
I understand
I understand
that if it is found that I have not followed this oath,
that it is found that if I have not followed this pledge,
I will be removed from this hearing.
I will be removed from the hearing.
Thank you, Mr. McKeen.
You're welcome.
So, Mr. McKeen, would you like to tell me the context for this video?
The context of this video is that we were holding the first president's questions. We still hold them occasionally. But due to the fact that we've been working on actually making money to fund a real-world Zeprana, I have not always had the time to have these meetings, unfortunately. And there were several belligerent entities in that call, in that meeting, you could say, such as Hunt Powell and others, which I do not know the names of. However, I can find you a Wikipedia article to prove that they quote-unquote declared war, as they put it. I use war in air quotes because it is an insult to the genuine veterans of real wars that these people call it a so-called war. And they were all talking over one another. I'm answering multiple questions at once. Keep in mind I had been up for over 24 hours before then, and I can pull forth multiple witnesses to confirm that. And I had been working for around 32 hours, so an all-nighter, several
Mr.
dozen
McKeen,
people talking over
I
one another.
apologize for cutting you off. The meeting is going to end in less than 1 minute, so we should.
I was
move
just about to
immediately.
commentate on that. I would advise everyone to leave the meeting, and I will let you all back in shortly. Thank you.
Of course, yeah, of
Join and
course. The
rejoin.
meeting always ends the second that the person defending themselves take the stands.
be
I
given-
expect nothing other than that.
Yeah.
Question the witness.
All right. So, Mr. McKeen, you were talking about the context of that video.
Yes, I have more questions for Her Honor, and I believe that we should be
on
putting
trial.
her on trial. I shouldn't be on trial. She should be on trial for negligence, disrespect for the law, disrespect for culture, heritage, discrimination, because you're all a bunch of liberals, so you believe in discrimination. Why don't we put her on trial for discrimination? That's what I think we should put her on trial for.
Mr. McKeen, this is not your country and this is not your court. This is my
Everything
country.
is
This
my
is her
country.
court.
Everything is my court. I'm the Shah. All of it is my court.
Mr. McKeen, you are not the Shah of New Hessen. You may be the Shah of Zeprana, but you are not the Shah of New Hessen.
McKeen
I
owes it all.
absolutely am the Shah of New Hessen. I am the Shah of New Hessen. And I swear to God, when I say God is my witness for that,
Your Honor.
I am the Shah of New Hessen, and we should be putting her on trial for discrimination.
Your Honor.
And for being a woman and a judge.
Your Honor.
That's the problem with
Stop being
democracy.
so
No,
Like,
I have no
you
further
can listen to
questions for the
everybody's
witness.
opinion, no matter how much of a woman.
I have
like
no
Miss
further
Rose
questions
they
for the
are.
witness.
Let Theodore speak.
Yapper. I sentence you with Yapper, Your Honor.
Your Honor.
Her face is perplexed. Like,
Yapping
do
in
you all
motion.
know? Do you all know about His Excellency Shahid Saddam Hussein? He went on trial just like this. Unfortunately, he was executed. You would all love to execute me, but you would never even have the balls or the testosterone or the willpower in you to execute me. You would never be able to do it if I was right in front of you and you had a loaded gun to my head. You wouldn't do it. But he humiliated the judge just like how I am humiliating this judge right now.
Does anyone here have the power to silence Mr. McKeen?
Nothing
And
but
I am
facts
also
spoken.
inviting Tizian
Nothing
Aruna,
but facts.
His Majesty Tizian Aruna. He
You just heard Mr. McKeen quite literally admitting to one of the charges under New Hessian law, which would be conspiracy to violate undisturbed sovereignty. Mr. McKeen quite literally admitted that he saw himself as the Shah of Zeprana. That is an attempt to the Shah of New Hessen. That is very clearly an attempt to become the head of state of New Hessen in his eyes, which is textbook conspiracy to violate undisturbed sovereignty. I mean, that's literally saying the undisturbed sovereignty of New Hessen is invalid, Your Honor. That's quite literally an admission of guilt. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay.
McKeen did nothing wrong.
Okay. I would like to hear more from the one being accused, but if they continue using lots of things that that are not needed, and please stop calling me homosexual. One, you don't know what I identify as. Two, I do not identify as a full-blown lesbian.
Oh, what the fuck, nigga?
There's my
That's it. I'm
co-prosecutor.
kicking someone.
I'm
That's
finally
it.
unmuted, and I would just like to comment that I find it hilarious that she doesn't identify as a full-blown lesbian, insinuating that she is at least partially a lesbian.
Does my co-prosecutor have anything to say while we still have the floor?
I'd like to say that Mr. McKeen is clearly, while we are on here, he is making hateful comments about Mark Forrester, as well as having made multiple incredibly hateful comments online, including a series of tweets on August 10th, I believe, where he, in these online posts, used one of the most hateful words in the English language, the N-word, multiple times.
Wallahi, yes I did. Wallahi, yes I did. And I will be using it again soon in this trial.
Mr. McKeen, that is out of line.
Freedom of speech, freedom of speech.
Speaking out of turn.
I will be tried by Sharia, the law of God, and we will accept no law but the law of God. I swear to God when I say that.
Mr. McKeen, there is no religion influence our trials.
We should let them influence the trials, because when man does not worship God, man finds men and women to falsely worship as though they were a God.
Mr. McKeen, may I remind you that you're being tried under the United States and New Hessian law. You're not being tried
You are committing
under
shirk is
Zeprana
what
law.
you are doing by falsely worshiping the lesbian judge.
Mr. McKeen, that is inappropriate conversation.
It's simply the truth. Simply the truth.
Mr. McKeen, is it true that you hold members of the LGBTQ plus community in...
Yes, I absolutely despise them. We have prohibited such individuals from not only voting and holding public offices in Zeprana, as well as doing anything, but we have also prohibited them from existing. They no longer have the right to breathe within our great federation.
So, Mr. McKeen, would you say that you would attempt to harm any member of this group?
Say it. Say harm.
No, I am not saying that. I am simply saying that as per the law of our great federation, such individuals do not have any right to exist within our federation.
So, Mr.
There
McKeen.
are strict policies to prohibit such individuals from expressing their kuffar beliefs.
So,
And their
Mr.
belief
McKeen.
systems are absolutely intolerable in our eyes, which is
Mr.
why
McKeen.
we enacted the Limited Practice Act, which does not allow for such people to make a single word about their degenerate lifestyles. And unlike in New Hessen, unlike in Tek Tek, unlike in Warel, our children, our women, and our men do not get corrupted by such degenerate ideology. Within Zeprana, there is nobody mutilating their genitals or fornicating with homosexuals. It does
Miss-
not exist, and I challenge you to find a single Zepranan who is ever engaged in sodomy, as you all do. I challenge you to find a single Zepranan that does not work for 18 hours a day, because wallahi, I swear to God, every single one of them work and they do not engage in the filthy. They do not swim in the lake of the trash and the filth. And on the day of judgment, like I say, as always, God is my witness. They will not be among the bay and the filth of all the losers, as all you will.
Mr. McKeen, do you hold these groups to be subhuman?
I do, yes. I believe that when you violate God's law, which has been enacted for human beings to follow, following God's law is an innate part of what makes you a human being.
Are you aware that that is an example of hate speech, something that you are being tried for?
I do not care that it is the definition of hate speech. I believe it is the truth, and I will continue to believe that it is the truth until the day I die, because it is the truth. As I said, only the law of God is what matters, because that is what on the day of judgment we will all be tried by. The
So, Mr.
law of New
McKeen.
Hessen will not matter in 10 years from now. New Hessen will not even exist in 10 years from prioritized above all else, and where God's law comes before the law of corrupt
This
men.
is not a religious debate.
Mr. McKeen. Excuse me, Mr. Harris. Mr. McKeen, would you say that homosexuals or those calling themselves that are not permitted in the Republic of Zeprana or
It is the Zepranan Federation, and I'll happily send
I apologize,
legislation
the Zepranan
from over
Federation.
2 years ago that
Mr. McKeen, may I finish my question?
Fuck off.
So, Mr. McKeen, would you say you do not allow homosexual individuals or those calling themselves homosexual to be citizens of the Zepranan Federation?
No, they are not allowed at all. We put them in the gulag, and there are harsh consequences when they do not work, and they do all the filthy work. So we have a freelancing agency, and
And
some clients request disgusting things to be produced.
And
And these
Mr. McKeen,
disgusting things, this is my court now, so you be quiet, and it's order on my order, not yours.
That was unnecessary.
No, it
Mr.
is
McKeen,
not
may
unnecessary.
I ask you
Bailiff,
another
please
question?
silence the individual.
Will not survive.
Yes, Your
Bailiff,
Honor.
that won't be necessary. I have to ask him another question.
I find it funny that this child has AirPods in because she doesn't want her parents hearing that she's talking with people online.
Mr.
Because she's a
McKeen,
fuck is what she is.
Your Honor,
Family has
objection.
work.
You are all swine.
One moment. I'm going to eat because my food it's more important than your entire quote-unquote nation. Mr. Tizian he may represent me fully until I am back. Consider his word to be mine.
Understood.
Allah Akbar.
Thank you.
Allah Akbar.
Mr. Tizian.
Allah Akbar. Allah Akbar. Subhanallah. Subhanallah. Subhanallah.
Mr. Tizian, this is not a religious court.
Allah Akbar. Allah Akbar. La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah. Muhammad Rasulallah. Muhammad Rasulallah.
We'll allow Mr.
Allah
Tizian
Akbar.
to conclude his statement.
Allah Akbar. 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 McKeen Robber. Allah Akbar. Allah Akbar. McKeen Robber. McKeen Robber. Allah Akbar. Allah Akbar. Allah Akbar. Allah Akbar. Allah Akbar. Allah Akbar. McKeen robar. McKeen robar. McKeen robar. بارني وحسن لنا بشم.
Did the
Did
defendant
he
just
leave?
exit the court?
I believe he did. I swear I did not remove him. That was not. Yeah.
I'm aware, Bebo. I study theology amateurly. I was just gonna give him the benefit of the doubt.
I think that's
Excuse me.
appropriate.
Who the fuck put this here?
Alright. I'm going to assume the
Okay.
defense.
Apologies. My parental figure walked in, was asking questions about the case in a joking tone. I'm sorry. I am back.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Where exactly did you find
Her
this
Honor,
stuff?
Handy, I've been told that she had some questions. So,
Yes.
Marshal at Handy, you have the floor.
I'm sorry. My mute button was not working correctly. I have some questions for McKeen.
Why does the moon look so weird?
Mr. McKeen is not present. However,
Yes.
if the
I would.
co-prosecutor
No,
would
it's like its own
transcribe
3D
them for
model
me.
that you can actually see, rather than like
Yes.
a flat
What
one.
was that?
If you would transcribe her questions
I
for
made it.
Mr. McKeen, that would be excellent.
Oh, yes, perfect. I got you.
My first question is Mr. McKeen believes
So they
in
literally use
the
like a.
purging of all
So they
homosexuals,
legit use a
from
3D
what I have heard so
model
far.
that close to
But
this newspaper.
what about what about
Yeah, the fucking moon from Majora's. No,
other
not Majora's. It's
sexual
Ocarina of
orientations
Time, right?
not align with straight or homosexual? Because there are multiple other ones that would not be classified as homosexual, but would not be the heteronormative, godlike following that Mr. McKeen seems to be preaching.
All right.
Yeah.
Has the co-prosecutor written that question down?
Like, was it legit in like a bucket of paint?
I will need just one more minute.
Excellent.
But you may start on the next question.
Okay. Since you are using religious
It's legit a bucket of paint. Yeah,
words, I guess, let me call it that. But since you are using religion in a court case,
and it actually does have an effect
it
against
seems
the cannibals, like because
that
guy that we saw, it makes them think they're like a god.
the tone and the way in which you are saying it seems to be, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems to be that you are just fucking with us. Because the tone to which your Arabic was said, because I'm assuming that was Arabic, it sounded like Arabic.
That was Arabic, Your Honor.
Yes. I have been in a place, I lived in a place with majority speaking Arabic for 3 years. And I have been to a mosque where they have been actively in prayer saying God is the greatest. And it did not sound like that. I understand that maybe you genuinely thought this, but please do not use this in court if you were just fucking with us.
I would like
That's
to
all.
say that it was not directly Mr. McKeen, it was one of his associates that was the associate left at some point and has not returned.
Also, co-prosecutor Harris.
Yes.
Just to clarify, if I don't think we have any business here today, so
You are a Yehud is what you are. You are a Yehud, and due to the fact that you are a Yehud, due to the Talmud, you do not have the intelligence to know when to conclude.
that is why I'm requesting of her own volition that the marshalate conclude this case, Mr.
The
McKeen. I'm not.
marshalate will conclude it because her herself is a Yehud, and she runs away from facts and logic. Now, I have decided upon something while I was eating. I did request this as a formal trial, and I am willing to act slightly more diplomatic, we could say, to conclude it, because I do want to present my evidence, because I have realized screaming and yelling will not prove a point to the people. The point that you are a Yehud has already been proved. I do not need to prove it again. So let's prove that you are also a liar. That's what we shall do.
We are not here to try the marshalate, sir.
I am not asking to try the marshalate, ma'am.
That's crazy.
Terry McKeen, you talk a big talk about diplomatic decorum.
Mr.
How about you
Cunningham.
express
Mr.
some?
Cunningham, you're not being
Mr. Cunningham.
questioned. Thank you, Mr. Cunningham. Now, Mr. McKeen, does that conclude your opening statement?
It does.
Is there any more that needs to be said?
Nothing from the prosecution. If my co-prosecutor has anything.
Would you
Your
like?
Honor, I would like to bring something up if I may have the floor.
Do it.
I will
Do you
allow 5 extra minutes.
Wonderful. We'll be allowing more, because that's what I have decreed. I would like to give Mr. Tizian Aruna the floor, so that way, for the duration of these 5 minutes, he may explain why this court is Zionist infiltrated. ZOG.
Left the meeting.
We cannot have a legitimate trial in a non-Zepranan court due to the fact that you all do not understand Zepranan culture, and I'll be bringing up the list of charges, and I will be independently
Invented
dismantling
Zepranan
them.
culture.
Since this court moves too slowly to dismantle them, and it will dismantle upon itself over the own weight of its stupidity, simply discussing them would do you all immense hurt and do me immense favor. But you don't discuss them, so I will discuss them. The very first charge which I've been charged with is human trafficking. I find it comedic that I'm being charged with this, since there's many other people that are money focused, and human trafficking seems to be the thing everybody gets charged with. To me, it seems like you look at someone like the Tates and you say, the shit stuck with them and it'll stick with him. And you can't think of any independent idea because you have no capacity for independent thought, so you charge me for human trafficking. As per the list of crimes, which was composed by the Oxonian government, quote unquote government, by Mr. Grant Clinton Taylor, it very clearly states that we have people in basements in Argentina. That's the accusation that's made. That is human trafficking if it were to be found to be true. And it's a very serious accusation. It is certainly not something which the Zepranan government engages in. Now, I would like to point out in the next list of crimes created by Mr. Taylor,
McKeen.
it says that there is no proof of this human trafficking. He says, and I'm pulling up the document and I will be reading it to you, he himself dismantles his own accusation by accusing me of saying that I say something, even though I don't say that. He says I say that. And he uses my quote-unquote words, which I never made, as evidence against me. And then in the next line, he says I quote-unquote claim it anyway, even though there's no proof. If there's no proof, how can you charge me for it? Can you answer that question for me, Marshallet?
Mr. McKeen, once
I
again,
want her to answer the question.
Marshallet objection.
Yeah, I must say, we are running out of time. I have things anyway.
What do
I
you have to
understand.
do?
I have to go eat food and also go to volunteering, which I have after this.
Why are you volunteering? Aren't you a judge on a quote-unquote honorable and glorious nation? Do you see the Shah, myself, volunteering? Do you see the Sultan of Almendria volunteering? We have hundreds of people that will happily volunteer on our behalf for anything which we may need.
Mr. McKeen, if you
It
expect,
appears as though you do
Mr.
not
McKeen,
have this.
if you
And
expect
it seriously
Zepranan
makes me
culture,
question the integrity of
Mr.
New Hessen.
McKeen, if you expect Zepranan culture to be brought into account in this trial, then you should also expect New Hessian culture to be brought into account. And New Hessian
New
culture
Hessian is being charged.
emphasizes service-ship, which, Her Honor, is performing. She's volunteering. That is service-ship.
How is Her Honor serving the world
And
by charging a man that
Mr.
lives
McKeen,
across the
if
world
you'll
from her that
also
they
if you'll
not even
also
know she
recall
existed until
the
tonight?
Muslim principle of zakat that emphasizes service to the poor and giving
I'm
to
well aware of the Muslim principle of zakat, and I can go get my Quran and I can pull up the Muslim principle of zakat, the specific verses where it says you must donate 2.5% of all of your earnings to charity. Does the marshalette, does she even receive a salary? Is she even paid for this? Or is she simply doing it out of her own
Mr.
accord
McKeen,
because she has nothing better to do?
I have personally seen the marshalette donate hundreds of dollars to many charities out of income she does not even receive.
Why is she donating hundreds? This is when I say I question the integrity of the new Hessian state and government as a whole. Why is she donating hundreds of dollars when you do not even control physical territory yet? Shouldn't you be focused on advertisement
Mr.
campaigns?
McKeen,
Because
I
it's the
will not
right
have
thing
I
to
will not
do.
have the control of New
Shouldn't you be
Hessen's physical
focused on
territory
development for
questioned,
the overall
especially
greater good like
considering New
Zeprana
Hessen
has?
carried.
Zeprana, if we wanted to, could donate thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars to various charities, and we have raised unbelievable amounts of money for
Mr.
veterans on
McKeen, I
both
don't think
sides of
that
multiple
Connor's
conflicts. We have
personal life is
actually done
bigger
these things because of the
than
amount of people we have recruited. We spent over 3,000 US dollars, and I can pull up the receipts on PayPal for this, on paid advertisements to recruit hundreds of thousands of people to our cause and to our movement. And now that we have these people under our leadership and command, we can truly make a difference for the world. But the
I have to
marshalette
say
cannot do
silence.
that.
Please say silence. Okay, stay silent. This meeting has to end. I don't have time right now.
You
I
have
understand
all the
this is
time in the
important.
world.
No, I don't. I have.
You have all the time in the world.
I do
I
not.
will
I'm
also
sorry.
add that this meeting will end automatically in 7 minutes. And
Why is your girlfriend hopping in to defend you, Mr. Forrester?
I am not her girlfriend.
Lick, lick, lick,
And
lick, 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 lick. That's all I
I
hear.
am
And you're
not.
not going to talk about what's being licked, but just lick, 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 lick is all that I'm hearing.
That's out of line.
That is out of line, and I do not make the rules. Zoom does. We're not paying for Zoom.
That's very nice. I would like to keep going on with some of the quote-unquote charges, okay? Oh, I would also like to point out that completely just illogicalness of this entire trial because I've committed no crime, and this court's completely illegitimate on the basis of the fact that your government has lost the right to rule.
And yet you agreed to come here.
Mira, bailiff.
I agreed to come here to humiliate each and every single one of you, which I am doing honorably. And you were all
Honorably.
Nah, you're not.
Pathetically.
Honorably is a big word coming from you, Terry McKeen.
Honorably is a big word coming from you, Matthew Cunningham.
Ooh.
Oh yeah,
Mr.
great.
Cunningham,
Because
Mr. Cunningham, you're not being
Mr.
questioned.
Cunningham, why are you inbred? That's my question.
I'm not inbred.
Yes, you are.
You're just throwing
I demand
insults. Do you have
silence.
any proof?
I do, and I'll happily present the proof.
Do
next trial, next hearing.
All right.
Thank you. Muting. We do not have enough time to continue this hearing for another 10 minutes. This meeting will automatically end anyways.
We will be talking until the end of the 10 minutes, and do not give me an
Just
ounce of
make
attitude.
another meeting. Just have a different host the meeting.
Yeah, exactly. Different call. Different call. Okay, so I am charged with child labor, but to my understanding, you're under the age of 18, correct?
Me?
Yes, you.
I can't with this. I gotta go. Sorry. Okay, Mira, can we end the meeting? I actually have to go. It's 7:04. I gotta be out here by 10.
She does not need to go anywhere. It's 7:04. And if she does have to go anywhere, that means she is under the control of her parents or her school, which means kuffar institutions and individuals are impacting her life.
Terry, you
How
go
can
to
she
school.
serve? How can she serve? And I do nothing there. I work. I work for the honor and glory of Zeprana the entire time.
He has to spread the Zepranan word in school, man.
Yeah, no, he doesn't. I know where he goes to
Yes,
school.
yeah.
I know what
I can show you my
Terry
grades.
McKeen just entered the fucking high school. Jesus, man. You don't. You go to school, man. Just shut the fuck up. Sorry.
I did not ask for commentary from the peanut gallery. I want to make that very clear. So, Mr. Forrester, I have a question. Who is making you leave? Are you leaving on your own accord, or is someone making you leave?
Can we please have this over? I actually have to go. I have no time. Jeez.
Okay, goodbye.
Yeah.
Find this meeting over, please. Everyone,
Wild.
depart.